It's on, the journey to find the best mountain biker in the world. 4 worldwide stops and 30 events start right here. The first destination on the Crankworx World Tour, Crankworx Rotorua. And the first step towards the Crankworx Pump Track World Championship. Will King of Crankworx, Adrien Laurent, add to his victory total? With Buchanan out, who will rise to challenge the dominance of Jill Kintner? Guess what? We're about to find out. The RockShox Pump Track Challenge, presented by Torpedo7, live from Rotorua, New Zealand. There's a better place for mountain bikers to be in March? We haven't found it yet. Bernard, Cam, what do you guys think?
All right, thanks, Michaela. Michaela Gatto in the field this year. How great to have you down there. And Rotorua, how are you guys feeling? We're going to kick off the Crankworx World Tour 2018 the right way with Pump Track.
That's it, Cam. We're up here in this beautiful place, New Zealand. Super excited. The crowd's building, and it's just awesome to be here.
Look at that. A beautiful day, 20 degrees Celsius, a.k.a. very comfortable. We had a little sprinkle earlier, and now we got nice tacky berms on a brand new pump track. Well, how's it going, everybody? I'm your host, Cam McCall, alongside a familiar face right here, the 2015 King of Crankworx, Bernard Kerr. He's nursing a broken foot, but you know what? Might as well come up here in the booth and have a good time. Great to have you, Bernard. How you doing?
That's it, Cam. Thanks for having me along. You know, like you said, broken foot, so I can't race at this stop, but it's awesome to be here and cool the events with you and see all the action tonight.
Right on. Well, this is what we're all wondering. The big question today, can Adrien Laurent and Jill Kintner stay on the throne? They're the returning champions from the overall title last year, the King and Queen of Crankworx. Of course, Laurent wants to stay on the throne, but it all starts here right now. This is an event that they always use to get a lot of points. How are they looking today?
That's it, you know, that's their best event. Jill Kintner, the defending Queen of Crankworx, this is definitely her strong point. So she's really going to be feeling out there tonight. But again, comes with that, a lot of pressure. She's thinking about the title. She's thinking about this single event. So I guess we're going to see how it unfolds.
Well, there she is right there on your screen. Jill Kintner, second place here last year. And then also always a contender in the overall. She had second in the pump track overall last year. Now let's take a look at the returning king.
That's it, we got Adrien Laurent from last year. He was an unbelievable rider, really stepped up his game in all the fields because he used to be just a pump track specialist, but this guy really has developed all his skills to become a great all-round rider, you know.
Well, that's what it is. You said it right there. You have to be an all-around rider. You have to compete in all these different disciplines. Let's take a look at what it takes to actually get those points to win that overall crown.
What exactly defines the best mountain biker in the world? Is it someone that can ride any condition, an athlete that can take on any discipline, or is it someone who can take on all comers of the sport? When talking about the King and Queen of Crankworx title, the answer to all of these questions is yes.
I've always watched who's in the lead and what events they've been doing. You see some surprise things like people just being consistent in one event and that really puts them up there. But I'm definitely not counting myself out yet.
For the overall title, you have to be a well-rounded rider. There's no like, I'm just going to be a pump track person and that's it. For me, I feel like I have a really good grasp on well-rounded skills.
To be honest, I didn't collect that much points this year. But I'm going to try my best to be good in these competitions. I'm going to try to win some of them and let's see how the other guys do.
When people are starting to know you, it's a different pressure. It's good too because you have to push your limits, but you have to deal with it differently.
I know a lot of people were talking about like the King of Crankworx. With the 2 wins in the pocket, that's something that you kind of have to think about. I know it's there. Obviously, it's something that I would like to get, but you always have to focus on the next one.
Well, there it is. It's so tough to get that crown. And this is what we're looking at right now in terms of the leaderboard so far. We got Mick Hanna sitting there tied for 4th place with Thomas Slavic. And we've had 4 events so far, a downhill race, a slalom race. And right now we're starting to get into those events where Adrian Lerone, for example, usually picks up a lot of his points. So Samuel Blankensop's sitting there in first place right now because of the Enduro and the Redwoods downhill, but it's going to be tough to maintain that lead now once we get this pump track going with heavy hitters like Slavic and Lerone now getting an opportunity to get those points in the disciplines that they favor most. So take a look here at the Queens, Bernard.
That's it, we got the Queen here, and obviously Jill Kintner's having a great week already. She's leading on 375, but close behind her is Via Verbeek. You know, 365 is a solid start for her. Then we got Casey Brown in third, and Ronja Hill-Wright back there in fourth. You know, there's a good amount of girls contending for it this year. It's going to be a strong year, and with tonight, you know, Jill Kintner, strong event, so she's going to be confident going into that, already in the lead.
A lot of points up for grabs here tonight. Bernard, who do you have your eyes on to grab some of those points?
Kilani, I think, you know, she really showed her speed and skill the other night in the slalom race, so I think she could be an outstanding performance tonight.
All right, Kilani Heinz, all eyes on her. She qualified well. I believe it was second. How about for the men? Who do you got your eyes on to get those points?
Slavic, man, good friend. You know, he's got a great race head, that guy. He really knows how to get it done when it comes to the night. Even if he qualified bad, he wouldn't worry.
All right, who else?
Barry Nobles, another great guy. Showed some really, really raw speed the other night in the slalom, and I think he could be a shock tonight to some people.
It comes down to when the pressure's on, who can rise to the occasion. So the mental game, also a big part of it. So those are our picks, but we want to hear what you have to say. You're familiar with fantasy football, but you're not football fans, you're mountain bike fans. So what you need to do is head to fantasy.crankworks.com and pick your team. You have until we start the first round of competition today in Pump Track to choose who you think's got a good chance. Different riders are worth different dollar amounts, so you got to be crafty, and there's big prizes up for grabs. Now we're going to do that for every event out here in Rotorua and every stop of the Crankworks World Tour. So if you win the slopestyle, we'll pay for your trip to either Crankworks Innsbruck or Crankworks Leger. Go to fantasy.crankworks.com. Go out there and pick your team. Right on, so get involved, get out there, pick your team. It's the start of a long season. They're fighting for points and prize money. You might as well fight for some of those prizes too, right? Are you a fan of the fantasy game?
I think it's an awesome thing. Gets the fans involved, gets the people sat at home. So yeah, it's a great thing.
You're usually a pretty expensive rider to put on your team.
I hope so.
It's tough judging. All right, well, let's take a look at the format we have on hand here for the RockShox Pump Track Challenge. Well, it's the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. Let's take a look at the format, Bernard.
So it's a pump track race, no chain, no pedaling. Your bike has to have a minimum of 26-inch wheels.
Now, we've already done a qualifying round, and from that, we've created our brackets. Explain to me how those brackets work.
So the top 16 men, top 8 women. Your fastest qualifier goes against the slowest.
And it's a head-to-head format. We've got 2 courses. Each rider takes a run on each side. They total the time, and that's how you make it out of those brackets.
And then after that, you have a world tour, Pump Track World Tour, and you get your fastest overall riders from the year. Last year it was Adrian Lerone and Caroline Buchanan.
Well, there we have it. A little bit of a look at what we have on hand for us today. Look at that course, Bernard. This is a new course, different part of the venue.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's up here in the field by the whip jump and the speed and style course. And I think it's going to provide some great racing. It's a little faster than we used to. You know, it's downhill out the gate, so it's going to be a lot faster, I think. Great night racing.
A whole lot of speed happening there. Usually Pump Track is just trying to generate, but you said there's even a little bit of braking going on here. So it's going to be a new game, but let's take a look back at how things shook down in the World Tour for Pump Track in the 2017 season.
Yeah, we had Adrian Lerone, obviously took it out. It's his strong event. So he won with 350 points. Mitch Revelado with 325 in second, and Shani Gunayan with third, 250.
Right on. So yeah, Mitch not here today, but Adrian Lerone looking to repeat on that overall title. Let's take a look at how the women fared last year. Well, the women, we had Caroline Buchanan taking the title, Jill Kintner in second, Danielle Beecroft. So Caroline out, you know, Caroline Buchanan. So that's a shame, but we're going to touch on that a little bit more later. But Jill, she's been looking strong. We're looking at qualifying times right here. She looks like she's the one to beat, doesn't she?
Yeah, Caroline obviously is a strong one, but Jill tonight has been looking so good, like you say, out there. She qualified fastest, and I think she's really enjoying the high speed of the new pump track layout we got here today.
Well, she's got the game face on, we could see right there. And here's a look on your screen. The 2017 Pump Track overall title, it went to Caroline Buchanan.
Yeah, she had a lot of points. 550 is a high win for her. She was so strong all season for sure. I mean, Jill right there in second again, like Beecroft out of Australia, you know, another great little young rider. So I think she could put something into the mix tonight.
Looking at this, you'd say, look at that, 100 points overall win. She's got to be the one to beat. But then this happened. What's the story on this?
Yeah, Karen Buchanan, huge injury in the off-season, training all hard, and then this happened. She broke her sternum, and she's just waiting for it to heal for ages, you know. So a real shame, but these things happen, you know.
Well, look at the outpouring of support right there. The mountain bike audience definitely rallying behind Kilani Buchanan. It's definitely a shame to not have her out here. It's unfortunate, but what is fortunate for us is our own Michaela Gatto has her standing by courtside. Michaela?
Thanks, Cam. Yeah, like you said, I'm down here with defending pump track champion here from Rotorua last year, Kilani Buchanan, out right now due to injury. And man, those pictures, what a recovery. That was only 2 months ago, right? Run us through that.
Probably the roughest 2 months I've had, but I'm here and I'm standing and feeling so much better. So yeah, lucky to be able to continue to live the ride. I had a big high last year on the Crankworks tour, and now I'm back. A little bit of a delay. I'm off the bike and just on the mic with you this year.
Oh, spitting rhymes while she's at it. Well, so now your recovery seems to be going really well. When can we expect to see you on the bike again?
The goal is mid-May for potentially another pump track event. If I get to the next stop of Crankworks, if not, Whistler will be one of the highlights of the year for me to be back racing.
Awesome. So I think I can speak for everyone here when I say that we are super excited to see you back on the bike. But in the meantime, we will get you back on the mic maybe a couple more times this evening.
Thanks, Kayla.
Right on. Thanks, Michaela. Great to see Caroline out here. It's going to open up the door for the girls to try to get in there where she left off. But let's take a look at some of our brackets here. We're going to start out with the men. We have a field of 16 on hand for them. Of course, we had a qualifying round to get to that point. And they had to make it out of that round of 32 to then get into the big show, into the webcast.
That's it, Cam. You know, we had the times earlier, and now we're already down to 16. So there's some great riders. And if you look at the brackets, I mean, the first one, we've got Adrian and Matt Walker. That could be a final in itself, and they're going up against each other to start with. There's some really good ones as you look through. Also, we've got Barry Nobles, Martin Soderstrom. Great riders. Another fierce battle to heat up.
Look at that. All the way down at the bottom, Max Fredrickson from Slopestyle fame, putting his hat in the ring here for Pump Track, but he's got to go against Thomas Slavic. That's not going to be easy.
No.
All right, well, that's the men. Let's take a look at who we have on tap for the women. They're a smaller field, kicking it off with a round of 8.
Yeah, Jill Kintner's actually got a bye. She qualified first in it, so not enough girls for her to have a competitor, so she's going to cruise through that one. But we've got Kilani Heinz here, Ronnie Hill-Wright in the last bracket, which I think is going to be a really fierce matchup. Both strong riders, and could be good.
Kilani Heinz qualifying second there, so yeah, does she have what it takes to take that top spot? We're about to find out. Stick around. It's the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new Sram GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
I think the Crankworks event here in Rotorua, its sort of vibe, its energy, the culture that gets brought into it, it's pretty unique, I guess.
Nelson's a really cool place. It's on the ocean, so you have surfing right there and then riding and mountains, and definitely one of those places you want to travel around.
So many new places, it's pretty unreal.
You gotta come to New Zealand to try it. It's wicked, super fun.
NewZealand.com. New Zealand, every day a different trail.
Yo, Casey Brown here. We're at the RockShox pump track. We're doing the GoPro course preview. It's pretty gnarly out there, so yeah, we'll go give it a go.
Well, there you go. You've seen our course with that GoPro course preview by Casey Brown. She won the Enduro earlier in the week. Big hats off to her. And now you're looking at the show. It's going to happen. You came to the right place. It's the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7, and it starts right now. There's a special energy in the air here in Rotorua.
The crowd is going wild out there.
Nobody has any room for air here. Into the final feature, going for the twister. Can he land it? Perfect!
Every single rider here did a great job. What a huge run. We could have a new leader here.
Happy to be in front of the home crowd and having a bit of fun.
Oh, just barely too short. There you have it, folks. It's the Crankworx World Tour 2018, and it's starting right now, our first broadcasted event. Bernard, who do we have in the gate for our first heat?
Here we've got Adrian Laurent on the left and Matt Walker on the right. Like I said before, this could be a final. This is going to be an awesome race.
And we always talk about this with Pump Track. It's the luck of the draw. You do your qualifying round, but you never have any control over who you're going to get matched up against. And you can have these rounds early on that could be a final. And we're kicking things off on the right foot here, aren't we?
That's it, man. It's honestly going to be such an intense race. And here we've got Adrian Laurent on the left course, the previous King of Crankworx.
All right, so Laurent trying to hold on to that throne from last year. He needs some more points to get into that top spot so far. Here's a look at who's doing well in the overall title right now.
Yeah, because Adrian's down in 10th place right now with only 65 points. He hasn't had his strongest events yet, so he really needs to make up some points and do well in the pump track here tonight.
Well, here's his opportunity. If you look back in history, he gets a majority of his points from pump track, so it's his time to shine right now.
Here we go, racing about to start.
Left side of your screen, Adrian Laurent. Right side of your screen, from New Zealand, Matt Walker.
Locked and loaded. There they are out the gate.
Underway, Bernard.
I'd say Adrian Laurent just got the jump there. Bit of a different technique. He's managing Matt Walker pumping. Walker into the first turn, maybe a little bit quicker on the right of your screen there.
Oh, really tight.
Here we go, down the final straight. I think Laurent's just pulling out on Matt Walker here on the left. That's it, he takes it. 0.32 over Matt Walker for your first heat.
Wow, really tight margin in our first heat here today. Matt Walker gonna have a 0.32 to try to tackle once they switch courses and head back up to the start to do it all over again. But Adrian Laurent looking strong already.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go, the replay.
Look at that, even in slow motion, it's quick.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a small margin, 0.32 of a second, Cam. It's
right.
nothing.
Blink of an eye separating our two riders in our first heat. Now we're getting a look at the next two riders we're going to have back up in the gate for you. Right side of your screen, that's none other than Kyle Strait out of the USA. And then Billy McLean out of New Zealand. Billy looking strong in practice.
Dude, we saw him do a lot of laps looking super strong out there and super stylish. I think Billy could be an upset here, maybe.
So, all right, we've got the established vet over here in the form of Kyle Strait going up against the young gun here, Billy McLean.
And they're down. Kyle Strait just getting the snap on in there. Here we go, Kyle just pulling slightly out into that first turn, but you never know what Billy's going to do on these turny bit back up the hill before they come around down the final straight. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's a dead heat to finish. Kyle Strait taken out by 0.05, hey Cam.
We were talking about how tight the last round was with a 0.32. That was nothing compared to what we just saw. Only 0.05 for Kyle Strait, so he's not going to have too much to make up once they switch sides. And a veteran like Kyle Strait, he's going to know how to do it. Check out this finish, Bernard.
You see Billy really come strong back down these next two straights after a poor finish, and it's so tight. By eye, you could barely see. Here we get the slow-mo. Strait just getting it there with pushing his front wheel through the line.
Well, you obviously you want to win your first round, so you have a little cushion right there, but Kyle Strait not having to make too much up. Who do we have in the gate next? It looks like Luca Cometti on the left side of your screen against Austin Bubba Warren on the right. We've got the RockShox side there that Bubba's on, and the Torpedo7 side, we're calling it, on your looker's left here on your screen.
Gate's about to drop. Here we go, got two guys across the world.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Oh, pretty even start there, I'd say, Cam. Both of them wanting to jump down the first big feature and all through the next straight. Same line all the way through there. Back up the turns before we come around the final turn and back down the home straight. Bubba Warren really pulling it out down there.
Oh, man, swerving Luca Cometti on that final straightaway. Bubba Warren in the lead by 0.31, but we said it, you don't have any control over who you're going to get bracketed against. These two riders train together at home, fly all the way to the southern hemisphere, somehow end up in the same bracket. Only one can make it out.
That's it, Cam. Both really talented riders come across the world and they're up against each other. And as you saw that really fast, but Bubba Warren edging out Luca Cometti on that one.
Well, unless you're from New Zealand, if you're competing here, you traveled a long way to get here. Take a look at the screen right now. We're floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in the beautiful town of Rotorua, New Zealand. We've got great weather down here. Michaela said it best when she said, if there's a better place to spend March, we haven't found it yet. But skyline, the redwoods, does it get any better than this, Bernard?
That's it, Cam. It's such a great place for riding bikes and hanging out. It's got some of the best dirt in the world. It's super green and lush. I mean, there's nowhere I'd rather like to be in March.
And some volcanic soil is kind of tough. It's, you know, no traction. It's just rocky. But this stuff, it's brown gold. That's how it refers to this dirt. It's forgiving if you crash on it. You can roost it, but it also pack if you need to make a lip with your flathead shovel.
That's it. Some of the best dirt in the world. Here we go. We've got Barry Nobles here. Getting ready to line up. Obviously chasing that King of Crankworx title as well. He's a good all-rounded rider coming from a BMX background, but he's really stepped his game up these days.
Well, Barry Nobles, he's been traveling here for the last few years, taking advantage of the events, but also the great riding we have locally here. We caught up with him a little bit earlier to pick his brain on that.
Rotorua is by far one of the best stops on the circuit. It's pretty unbelievable what they have out here for the locals. Like, I've heard so much about the redwood stuff, and actually being here, I had no idea it was a full like dirt jumps, everything skills park. I'm constantly shocked on what there is for the locals out here. Like, so much bike riding, like everything is growing so much every year we come. Being a BMXer, pumping is the skill that's going to go into every dynamic of riding. Whether you're jumping the biggest jump out there, you're going to land and really want to pump that landing to create momentum. If you're manualing, you're pumping with your legs in between a double, and then you're also pumping that landing to still keep that momentum going. As a racer, that's my core background, but I've always had that true passion for dirt jumping and freestyle. But I can justify training in the yard and doing tricks and taking that chance to get hurt for racing. And if you don't have that skill, you're pretty much having to start from scratch. So I've always been that guy. I want to be able to do everything on two wheels. So if I go to a new spot, I can take advantage of every opportunity out there. And when I'm 40 years old, I still want to be showing up at Crankworx, being able to have a good time and ride everything there is.
Well, there you have it. The training doesn't stop when you get on the airplane. Barry Noble's been out there at the Doddsy Skills Park, honing those skills that he's going to have to put into play right now. He's going up against Martin Soderstrom on the RockShox course. Of course, we got Barry Nobles there on the Torpedo7 course.
That's it. Here we go. Getting locked and loaded. Feet on the pedals. Gate's ready to go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Oh, a long pause there before the gate drop.
I'd say Barry got the snap on that one with his BMX background, but Martin pulling out down the RockShox lane there.
How in the world do you snap a gate when you don't even have a chain? You just lean forward real hard or what?
Barry trying to come back there, but getting a little squirrely. Oh, and just edging Martin out there at the end.
How in the world did Barry Nobles make up that time? He finished .16 ahead of Martin Soderstrom, but he was not in the lead when they got into that final straightaway, was he?
No, that was super impressive. Barry really put some hard to get power down to get back there.
Well, let's take a look back at that. There was a long pause before the gate dropped. It looked like Barry got a little squirrely right when the gate dropped.
Yeah, straight off the start, and you can see Martin at the minute quite far ahead. But as we come out the final turn here, Barry's getting squirrely and really trying to put the power down that manually to pump. Very aggressive rider, and just takes it off Martin.
Well, all that time spent at the Doddsy Skills Park looks to be paying off. About .13, paying off by, that's .16 there. So Martin's got his work cut out for him, but all he needs to do is just clean it up a little bit. And Martin with such a good headspace in the competitive realm, we're gonna be able to see if he can do that when they get back up to the top. But right now, it's all about Cody Johnson on the left and Tomas Lemoine on the right.
That's it, another two great competitors here. Getting ready for the gate.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Well, amazing to see Cody Johnson riding right now. He had a crash in practice. Is this surprising?
Huge crash, very surprising. But here you see Thomas Lemoine, so powerful coming down that straight. Back up into the turn. Oh, and he's really pulled out some lead here and just really powering down. Cody Johnson blows up.
Cody Johnson.
We hope he's all right there.
Washing out. We're going to have to take a look back at that. So much going on at the same time right there, but Lemoine able to just cruise through that finish line straightaway right there when Cody Johnson fell down. Let's take a look back at what happened to Cody. All right, here it is.
Out the gate. Both pretty even to start with. Lemoine starts to pull away here, really powerful down that. Back up the twisty, stony straight, up the hill. And here, Cody.
In that right-hand berm.
Oh, it just gets a little bit over the front there.
That's
Tries to pump it a little bit too early.
Are there so many G-forces in this course compared to last year with the added degree of speed? There's a little bit more of an incline now.
I would say that for sure. You're coming up with such speed, it's hard to get the pumping and the timing right.
The pumping, it's all about having your weight distributed at the right spot, but if it's the wrong spot, I guess it looks like that.
It exactly can.
All right, back up to the start. Michael Bias out of New Zealand on the left side of your screen there, and Tuhota Ariki Pene, also from New Zealand. So the crowd's going to be
local
nuts for this one.
Here we go. Yeah, exactly. We can hear him from up here in the booth. It's going to be an awesome race. Both from a BMX background, so they're good gates here.
Ready, watch the gate.
Oh, and Michael Bias getting a slight jumping in there, but pretty even down the first straight.
Listen to the crowd.
Go absolutely wild as they come around that final turn. Super even, trying very hard both of them down that final straight. I think it's going to be Michael Bias just edging him out.
Wow, well, we always talk about this Rotorua crowd as one of the most enthusiastic we've ever experienced, especially when you got two Kiwis in the gate against each other. A differential of .17 right there. Michael Bias with the advantage. They'll get back up to the start to do it all over again. The shame for the crowd is one of these guys has to go away.
That's the problem. The crowd love the two locals, but one of them is going to have to leave, so hopefully they like the other one.
Well, as we said before, we're going to eliminate one rider from each one of these rounds. They get to switch courses and do it all over again before we eliminate, but here's a look.
And yeah, Max Fredriksson doesn't look too racing, so Thomas Slavik is going to get a bye into the next round.
All right, well, a little shake-up right there. Slavik able to move into that next bracket. We're going to have them switching courses in a little bit. Stick around.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new Sram GX Eagle Drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle. new Pike is lighter with an all-new trail-focused chassis. Gives you more control with its new Charger 2 damper and new remote options for ultimate efficiency. Feels more supple with its new Debonair spring. Is stiffer for better steering authority and offers increased tire compatibility. This is the new Pike, an even better benchmark.
Whistler Mountain Bike Park. Love the feeling of being truly awake. All right, we're back with the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. We're switching course sides now. We're sending those riders back to the top. Those guys who maybe were a little behind in the first round got to beat their competitor by more than they were beat by before. Take a look at our competitors.
That's it. The first one up is going to be Adrian versus Matt Walker again. And they've switched lanes, like you see. So we've got Matt Walker in the Torpedo7 lane and Adrian Laurent in the RockShox lane.
Well, only one can survive. This is a proper duel right here. Adrian Laurent ahead of Matt Walker by 0.32. Matt Walker needs to finish 0.33 or more ahead of Adrian Laurent to be able to advance.
That's it. He's really got to put some power down on the pumps right now.
And they're off.
Pretty even down the straight. Both jumping the first thing. I'd say Laurent's a little bit ahead going down the straight now into the first turn.
Laurent is just putting his tires in the right spot, but a little...
Oh, a little mistake there by Laurent, and here comes Walker.
Oh, he's going to capitalize.
Oh,
is it
tight.
enough? Matt Walker crosses the finish line first, but by 0.08. So Adrian Laurent had a hefty enough cushion there to where he will move into the next round.
That's it. Tight racing, but a good race.
Well, you know what? I feel like there was a moment there where Adrian was close to throwing it away. Let's see if we can pinpoint that moment.
Yeah, I think he almost missed a pump, just like Cody, but not quite as serious.
Right
on the
here,
right of your
out
screen.
of that chicane there. Oh,
See?
he came up
Yeah,
short.
on the manual.
Well, that was a near fatal mistake for his year. Not crossing the finish line first, but he still has that enough of a cushion there from round one. Adrian Laurent, one step closer to some more valuable points. Sending it down to Michaela, who's standing by with Adrian Laurent. How's it going, Michaela?
Hey, thanks, Cam. I'm down here with Adrian. That was tight. That was tight. How are your confidence levels coming into tonight?
I'm feeling good. I just did a small mistake here, and everybody knows that you can't do mistakes on pump track, so I just need to keep clear runs, and it's going to be all right. I'm feeling pretty good.
And rumor has it you have a pump track coach. Did I hear that right? Is that a thing?
I don't have a pump track coach. I have a coach. I have the best coach.
All right, shout out to Adrian's coach. Bringing him into the next round.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Michaela. We heard it from him right there. He said that he had a little bit of a mistake, and there's not room for mistakes out here. With each run only being about 15 seconds, it's every little detail counts, isn't it?
That's it, Cam. He was lucky he had such a good buffer after the first one. Otherwise, who knows who was going through that round.
So he dodged a bullet there, advancing out of that round. Let's see who advances out of this one. We got Kyle Straight on the left side of your screen against Billy McLean out of New Zealand on the right.
And only 0.05 in, it's a tight one.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of cushion to fall back on, does he?
Anything could happen here.
Can Billy McLean finish more than 0.05 ahead of Kyle Straight? Kyle Straight's off to a good start, though, isn't he?
Yeah, Billy McLean jumped and tapped down really nice and jumped. You see that there in that snaky section, coming around the turn about even. Maybe Kyle with a slight advantage here, but I think Kyle's going to take that one.
Kyle did exactly what he needed to do. Not only did he finish ahead, he finished ahead by a lot. Kyle Straight advances. Billy McLean, unfortunately, going home, but hope to see him out here again next year. He was looking strong all day, but only one can survive out of these bracketed rounds.
That's it. He's a good rise. You'll see here, he's got some interesting lines for Billy down that track.
So we watched him here. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it in the replay. That spot where Adrian Laurent actually came up short out of that berm section. He gapped it. Look on the right side of your screen here, Billy McLean gapping.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice line. It pulled him back a little bit from his deficit, but not quite enough to edge out Kyle Straight there.
Well, Billy pulled out all the stops there, but it was not enough. So we focus our attention back to the top of the course. We've got Austin Bubba Warren, who was the winner out of run one, going up against his friend and training partner, Luca Cometti.
Here you go. It's going to be another good heat.
Riders ready, pass the gate.
Look at the intensity on Bubba Warren's
Oh,
face.
such a good start from Bubba Warren there, but Luca Cometti still right with him coming down the first straight.
Bubba looking smooth.
Oh, coming out the home turn, is that Luca Cometti a little bit ahead right now?
Luca crosses the finish line first, but only by 0.12. He needed more than 0.31, so Austin Warren advances into the round of 8.
Still great friends, but yeah, there's only one winner in racing.
One of us need to do it for once. Yeah. Hey, I took slalom, you took pump track. Yes.
There he is, just enough. Still happy with each other. Bubba Warren's pretty happy with that one, that's for sure.
You all good?
Well, all the riders look forward to this all year, getting down here in Rotorua. It's not just about the competitions. They're really soaking up the sights and sharing it with all of you through social media.
That's it, they all love New Zealand. Like we say, it's such a great place to come, such a great place to ride your bike. And social media is a huge thing now. We love putting it on there for everyone to see.
Well, if you're not here, well, you got to fix that next year. But you're doing the right thing by watching the webcast, and make sure you follow all these riders on Instagram, all those social media platforms, to see how much fun they're having here in Rotorua, to encourage yourself to get a plane ticket, do whatever it takes to get here next year, because this is the spot to be in March. It's what we've been doing for the last 4 years. Plenty of social media here documenting every moment. Well, let's get back to action here. Take a look at our brackets, Bernard Kerr.
Here we go, Austin Warren's going to be up against Cheney Gurney next, but after that we've got Barry Nobles against Marty Stotterstrom again.
Ooh, Adrian Lerone against Kyle Strait. That's going to be interesting. Well, we're going to have one more rider turn it into a spectator here at the end of this 15-second lap. Your competitor is Martin Soderstrom, who has a 0.16 to make up behind Barry Nobles. Can he do it?
It's going to be a tight one.
Man, talk about intensity on the eyes of Martin Soderstrom. His dad is a mental coach.
Oh, and a mistake there by Barry Nobles, if you saw that on the jump down.
But look at that, he's not giving up.
Oh, and Barry, straight off the course. Martin is home clean.
Wow, it's the mental thing
That's
right there.
it.
Once you get into these elimination rounds, you can ride smooth all day, but can you do it when it all counts and all the eyes are on you?
That's it. You know, you saw Barry had that little mistake right at the start on the jump down, and he was trying so hard to make the time back on Martin. So he just made another mistake and off course. It can happen so quick.
He had the advantage coming into that as well. So let's rewind the tape and take a look back at this. Look at the intensity on Martin Soderstrom.
He's hopping out the start there, if you notice Martin do that, and he really gets a great start on Barry there that probably already forces this mistake by Barry. You see him shake his head.
He may have seen Martin just hop all the way through to the next section and tried too hard here.
And there you see it again. Is that section that's catching a few riders out. On the right, as you come out the berm, you just mistime that pump there as Barry does there, and then straight into the middle, into the RockShox banner.
You're right, that's kind of proving to be one of the most technical parts of the course right there, to keep your tires in the right spot, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely can.
Well, here you can hear him say right there, he's been struggling with that section all day. Barry, unfortunately, will turn into a spectator right now. Martin Soderstrom advances into the next round. And we take things back up to the top. We've got Thomas Lemoine on the left. He was the winner from run number 1. Cody Johnson with a bit of a bobble, so he's got a 1.7 to make up. That's a lot when you figure these runs are only 15 seconds.
15 seconds, Cam. Yeah, that's a long time to make up on such a short track. Here we go. Another great start by both riders. They're pretty even, and both are really well down there.
Whoa, Cody looks like he's got his eyes on the prize.
Here we come through the little tricky section. Both clean.
Oh, another mistake.
Cody, another mistake. Thomas Lemoine can just cruise home for a nice victory there. And a bar spin, Cam.
Hey, Lemoine, speed and style is not until tomorrow. Let me tell you a thing about this guy right here. This isn't his only event this week, is it?
No, that's it. He's a slope style rider. He's just such a cool guy. You see, Cody goes down. He just wants to have fun with it, you know, entertain the crowd. He's having a great time out here tonight racing.
Well, unfortunately, 2 mistakes is going to spell Resignation there for Cody Johnson, but Lemoine giving us a little taste of what else he has in his bag of tricks there. Bar spinning, the finish line jump. It's kind of a roller, but he turned it into a finish line jump. Let's take a look at what happened to Cody Johnson.
There you go, just a little too far to his right on that roller. A few people are going too inside, and he went too far right, slides his back wheel over it, and that's the end of the day for him.
Well, he went down swinging.
That's it, you can't say he didn't try.
And he gave Lemoine an opportunity to kind of show off for the crowd a little bit with that bar spin. But who do we have next as we bring things to the top of the course? This is our purely 100% Kiwi heat here with Tuhoto Ariki Pene on the left side of your screen, Michael Bias on the right, a .17 that Pene needs to make up.
Here you go, locked and loaded. Oh, one of them, yeah, two different start techniques there. Pretty even, oh, Michael Bias putting out a little bit into the first turn there. Super different techniques. Carrying that last turn. Oh, a little mistake there by Tuhoto. Michael Bias just styling it home.
Well, there we go. Michael Bias will move into the next round. Big round of applause, though, to Tuhoto Ariki Pene. And we said it before, one Kiwi has to go home out of that heat, which is a shame. You see these two Kiwis going up against each other. You have Kometi and Warren going up against each other.
It's crazy, isn't it? You got two kids from the opposite side, the other side of the world going against each other, and two local boys going against each other. But it's awesome to see these local riders.
Take a look back at our replays.
Both good at even starts.
Now it's a needle's edge right here. It's so easy to go off course, and if you notice, on this course, only the middles are packed. That's the line that you want to be on, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. You want to stay as central as you can to be on the fastest, hardest rolling pack line.
So here's a look at how the brackets are shaping up.
We've got Adrian Laurent versus Carl Strait, both really, really good pump track riders.
Bubba Warren versus Cheney Gounet, Martin Soderstrom, Thomas Lemoine. That's going to be an interesting heat right there because you have two jumpers. We may see a couple bar spins, one on each side in that lap.
We might. And then after that, we got the girls as well to come, Cam.
We've broken it down to the round of 8 for the men now, so we've met up with how many competitors we have in the women's field, so we're going to get them in as a part of the action here soon as well. Well, look at that, a beautiful night out here. Clear skies, a little bit of a rainstorm earlier, but it just made the course even better. But the big story through all of this is the king and queen race. Michaela, she's been studying up on who's gunning for the queen spot. Michaela, how's it looking?
Thanks, Cam. Yeah, it's looking pretty tight here. Via Verbeek is only 10 points behind Jill Kintner. However, her and Casey Brown are not competing tonight in the pump track. So this gives Jill a really good opportunity to solidify that lead this week. But I don't think we can really stop talking about Kilani Heinz. She's a new girl coming from BMX, flexed her riding muscles at the dual slalom, a couple days ago, placing second, and she qualified second here tonight. So I think she's definitely one to keep our eyes on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michaela. It's always really exciting to start out a new season and find out who our fresh faces are. And for the women's field, judging by her performances so far, her qualifying for this right now, she qualified second. Kilani Heinz out of Seattle, Washington, she's looking like she's going to be a name that we're going to be very familiar with come the next few stops if she keeps it up.
I think definitely, Cam. You know, Jill is like the favorite as she won it last year, and everyone knows Jill. But Heinz, this new girl, I saw her the other day at the slalom, and she really impressed me. Such a great, strong rider, good style, and she's definitely someone to watch out for.
Well, who's going to pounce here with Caroline Buchanan not competing today, still rehabbing that injury, that broken sternum? Jill Kintner, of course, no stranger to the top step of the podium at the pump track. Also, a lot of other events, so she's a great contender for the queen title as well, but will it be the new face? Kilani Heinz looking good. We're about ready to find out who's going to advance out of some rounds here. So we're going to kick it off again now with the men as they move into the round of 8. Here's a look at the format again. No chain, minimum of 26-inch wheels because, of course, they're mountain bikes after all.
Exactly. And it's head-to-head, 2 rounds on both courses.
There we go, our 2017 overall champs for Adrian Laurent and Caroline Buchanan. Jill qualified so well, being the first qualifier. Great time, so she'll have the luxury of taking a bye for the first round. You can see her sneak by on the screen right now. Nobody alongside of her, so she'll move right into the round of 4. These other ladies are going to have to earn their spot in there.
That's it. Jill just keeping warm out there and having a good time.
Well, that's a great thing about being in Rotorua, New Zealand, is you don't have to actively keep warm. It's not freezing cold out here. It may be March. It's cold where we both come from, but it's nice skies, cool, clean temperatures out here, volcanic soil to write home about. We're going to get up to the top with our next two competitors. Looks like we have the girls on tap now. Cody Johnson on the left side of your screen against Jessie Smith out of New Zealand.
Here we go, Cam. Both of them good, even starts there, pumping well down the big steep bit. It's head-to-head going into that first turn.
It's great to get the girls involved now. We're into our round of 8. Cody Johnson, Jessie Smith. Who's it going to be?
Oh, I think Jessie Smith's had a mistake. She's off the back there. Cody Johnson just rolling down. It'd be good to see what happened to Jessie Smith there.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at a replay on that, find out what happened. But Cody Johnson, no challenge there, through the finish line first after Jessie Smith had that little bit of a bobble. Let's take a look at what happened.
Here we go, down into the first turn, both looking good, pretty even.
It's that same section again, isn't it?
It's the same section. Everyone's getting the timing wrong on that right bit. You're coming out of a turn, over a roller, and into quite a big dip by the looks of it, into another roller whilst turning, Cam.
This section is taking on a bit of a personality of its own. I feel like we should start calling it the Bermuda Triangle. She was out of frame there. We're like, where did she go? She got stuck in the Bermuda Triangle. It happened to other riders before. Adrian Lerone narrowly escaped the Bermuda Triangle to advance out of his round. So we'll send those girls back to the top. And now we'll focus on our next bracket here. We got Danielle Beecroft on the left side of your screen, Vinnie Armstrong, another Kiwi on the right.
That's it. Danielle's no stranger to pump track. She's a strong rider at this and has done well in the past.
Riders ready? Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Danielle Beecroft hopping out at the start, getting in just like Martin Soderstrom. Great technique by her.
That's true. She had a very identical technique. It's got to be a great way to start yourself off, landing into that first roller instead of just sneaking down it.
That's it, accelerating, just getting your speed up for the whole course. You see that, she jumps across the line and comes over with a comfortable margin there over Vinnie Armstrong.
Danielle Beecroft gapping the Thomas Lemoine finish line jump as we now know it. It was a 1.9 advantage over Vinnie Armstrong, so she'll have her work cut out for her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Danielle looks happy with that one for sure. Starting off the night well.
All right, we'll send them back up to the top to do it all over again. Take a look. It's our women's round of 8 in the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. These are elimination rounds. If you're looking at a yellow name, that means they have the advantage going into the next lap.
And I'm excited for this last bracket here. Kilani Heinz coming up. Like I said, we've seen her out there and she's looking strong. But Ronja Hillwright as well, a great rider. I've seen her and she's nothing to be shy about for sure.
Well, we've been building up Kilani Heinz so much. Let's see if she can deliver. She's going to have no easy task going up against Ronja Hillwright. Oh, this just in. We have a bye situation here again.
Very interesting, yeah.
So there's Kilani Heinz in the start gate. We talked about what a bye is. Jill Kinder earned one by being the fastest qualifier. And then there's other circumstances that can lead to a bye. We're not sure what's up on the other side of the course there, but Kilani Heinz able to take this as a practice lap.
But still running fast and well, Cam. She's not just cruising this one, running really well down that first straight.
Keeping the blood flowing, maybe trying to find out if there's any changes in the course, the way it was running in practice versus now. These girls have had to sit around and watch the guys for so long before they got down, whittled to a round of 8. But the girls, it's time to shine.
That's it, Cam. You know, the course can change through the night as well. There can be soft patches develop or anything. Even the dew could come out. You never know. So smart move by her to keep it going and go fast, you know, check out the track.
Well, that was our women's round of 8, run number 1 in the books. So we move things over to the men. A look at who we have coming up right now. Looks like our first bracket is going to be that one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, Adrian are on Carl Strait. Both heavy hitters when it comes to the pump track. No slouches here. They've both done their fair share of racing. And I bet they're both thinking about the competitor right now.
Well, look at Lerone. I mean, qualifying great, but then having very difficult runs right out of the get-go. He had Matt Walker to start things off, now Kyle Straight.
That's it, you know, he's had his problems in the Bermuda Triangle, we're calling it already, on the right side of the track there, so let's see how he fares up against Kyle Straight now.
Kyle Straight on the RockShox course, Adrian Lerone on the Torpedo7 course.
Riders ready, that's the gate.
Both out the gate well. Adrian with that little hop again, but Kyle Straight pulling him down the steep bit there into the first turn.
Kyle's looking strong.
Yeah, very different techniques. Adrian did a few jumps, Kyle pumping hard. But Kyle, little mistake by Kyle, but still just, he just loses the advantage he had there over Adrian coming around that turn.
Adrian Lerone across the finish line first, but not by much. It was only 0.17. Let's take a look back at the replay. I saw dirt flying off the rear tire of Kyle Straight. That's never a good thing in the pump track challenge.
That's it. You want to keep your tires on the ground and things smooth. But Kyle hit that top right turn so fast, it just spat him out. We're about to see it. And his rear wheel just de-weighted, I think, and lost him some speed down that home straight. Right here on your right.
Makes it smooth out of the Bermuda Triangle, but he almost painted too far to the rider's left of that course, didn't he?
That's it, and you see Adrian Lerone just carried so much more speed down that last straight then and just came right by him.
Well, Kyle's looking so strong, manualing across the finish line, trying to squeeze out every ounce of energy there. He's definitely got what it takes to upset that differential of 0.17, but he's got to stay on track.
Yes, here we go. We've got Austin Warren on the left course and Cheney Gunet on the right. He was actually our third place overall finisher last year in the Pump Track World Series.
Well, he's definitely looking to pick up where he left off, but it's not going to be easy going up against Austin Warren. We've got Cheney Gunet, the French rider, against Bubba Warren out of the USA. Here we go.
Riders ready, that's the gate.
They're up dead even out of the start there, Cam. Both jumping down that first thing with Cheney Gunet, I'd say just pulling ahead. Both doubling into the first corner so smoothly.
Well, Cheney Gunet, I want to say he won this event a couple years ago, so he loves this dirt. Look at that, across the finish line first by a margin of 0.32 over Bubba Warren.
Great race again, super tight racing, and both super fast and focused then. No real huge mistakes by either of the riders.
Put my hands on the levers all the way.
Straight back up to the top here, and we got Martin Soderstrom in the Torpedo7 lane and Thomas Lemoine on your right in the RockShox lane.
Ooh, we were looking forward to this one when we saw it on the bracket. Two riders from the slopestyle world going head-to-head.
Here we go. Let's see what tricks they got in store.
Well, that tall guy there on the left side of your screen, that's Martin Soderstrom nodding his head. He looks confident. Thomas Lemoine, he's not going to be able to just cruise a bar spin over the finish line here. Something tells me.
Riders ready.
Here we go.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Very even at the start. Martin doing his hop again, but Thomas just getting a nice push. Super fast down the first straight.
Both of these riders so efficient. They spend so much time dirt jumping. That's all about carrying speed. All those skills transfer over here.
Oh, a little mistake by Martin there, just pumping a little bit too hard and getting his timing missed again. Not huge, but Thomas Lemoine coming away with a 1.39 advantage then.
That is insane. The tiniest little mistake equates to a 1.39 disadvantage going into the next round. Thomas Lemoine, we always talk about his strategy in pump track and his ability to just look unfazed.
That's
he absolutely never makes a mistake. We've joked around in years past about, look, he can't make a mistake, and he doesn't even get flustered by hearing us say that. Look at him.
Exactly, and you see Martin there, came out of the turn a little bit behind. I think he just overpumped things a little bit too hard and just lost some more time on him there.
Look at him, he's kicking himself for that, but Martin, you get another chance, you get to get back up there, and who knows, maybe one of these days Lemoine will make a mistake. If you're lucky, that day will be today, but history says that's not very likely. Back up to the top.
Here we go, this is a toughie. We've got Michael Bias on the left and Thomas Slavic on the right.
Now, Thomas Slavic, no slouch when it comes to pump track racing, is he?
No, he is very strong at this. He's won some in the past, and he's one to watch out for tonight for sure.
Well, you were a king. This guy, this is a fellow.
He was a king as well, exactly. He knows what it takes just for the race and the overall, you know. He's got two things on his mind tonight.
And he was actually your pick at the start of the show, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was indeed. He is a great rider and so headstrong.
Well, Thomas, don't make Bernard a liar here.
Michael there getting a great start actually, but Slavic manualing up and over and all the way down that first feature. That's the first time we've seen that tonight.
Michael Bias to slap Thomas Slavic. You're doing something right.
But here he is. Slavic's on the back foot here, trying to chase Michael down.
Oh! Michael Bias across the finish line first by 0.19. He snapped him out of the gate too.
Yeah, it was out of the gate jump, and Slavic was on the back foot from there trying to make it up. That was a very impressive ride by Michael Bias from New Zealand.
Well, both riders absolutely on point. We've seen mistakes happening here at this pump track event tonight on this longer course, more difficult, but no mistakes here. Both riders, absolute perfection.
Yeah, I think Michael Bias is doing a front wheel wiggle out of the gate or something weird, which seems to be working well for him.
It's almost generating speed like snaking that front wheel, isn't it? Well, maybe we can figure out what that strategy is all about. Michaela's standing by with Michael Bias.
Thanks so much, Cam. Yeah, hey, Michael, local guy. I don't know much about you, so give me 3 things about how you got into riding, what you're doing, what events you're doing this week, and a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah, I'm from Auckland, so I'm a bit of a local. I race BMX, so that's my bike background. Always ridden mountain bikes, and I've seen this event here the last few years, and it's too good not to come to, so I'm here and I'm having fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, I mean, took you a few years, it sounds like, to get up the courage to cross over to the mountain bike world, but we see a lot of strong BMX riders out here tonight, and we're glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's hard with the BMX season coming into that form soon. I've got to go to Europe in a month or so, so I'm jumping on this for a week and then back into training.
Well, I mean, it looks like you're sweating, so I'd count this as training.
Yeah, it is.
Cross training.
Yeah, sure is.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to see. The Crankworx bug is contagious and it's spreading. Fresh faces out here. We've seen it before. We're seeing it continuously. Let's see if he can get out of that round looking strong. Here we go. We've got the women's round of 8. Jill Kinner, of course, with the bye.
That's it. Joanna Johnson on the upper hand over Jessie Smith right now.
Danielle Beecroft with the advantage over Vinnie Armstrong. And look at that, Kilani Heinz scoring on that bye round.
That's it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her go fast again, you know. She's going to test out the other track, I think, and make sure she's dialed in for the night.
Well, there we go. Back up to the start. Jessie Smith on the Torpedo7 course. Jonna Johnson on the RockShox course. A 1.9 advantage. Jonna Johnson in the lead after run number 1.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Both out. Nice little jump technique there by Jessie Smith, maybe even the slight edge, but here comes Jonna Johnson down that straight. It's neck and neck right now going into the back turn for sure.
Well, it needs to be more than neck and neck because there's a 1.9 advantage on the table.
Jessie Smith just taking it by 0.14. I don't think it's going to be enough, Cam.
No, she needed a whole lot more than that.
That was awesome.
So there we go, Jonna Johnson moving on into the next round, but a hard-fought battle there by Jessie Smith, doing all she could to try to pull that off, make it out of that round, but it can only be one. Well, that was an absolute photo finish. Take a look back at this angle here, slow motion. I love the different techniques. What seems to work? Some riders are manually across that finish line. Some riders keep both tires on the ground. What do you think's better?
That's it, Cam. A lot of people, when it comes to racing, you try and stretch your arms out in front of you just to get that little bit extra on the bike. You know, when it's coming down to 0.14 or 0.05, you need that tiny bit of your wheel to get as far forward as you can to try and make the difference.
Every little thing counts. We've seen ties out here at the Pump Track Challenge before in the past. Well, here we go. This is a name that I recognize from your predictions earlier on in the day, Danielle Beecroft.
That's it. She's so strong in pump track. Great, great rider. And you saw her in the night in the slalom. Such a good small bike handler. She rides big bikes, but you see her on these little ones, and she's amazing, Cam.
Well, really strong in run number 1. She's got a 1.9 over Vinnie Armstrong. Does Vinnie have what it takes? It would take a fall from Danielle Beecroft.
That's it. You see Danielle doing that hop like Martin and just manualing into that first turn. She's such a strong rider on the hardtail. Comes around that top turn and just pulling away, you know, she's just pumping, manualing there, having a little fun. She knows she's got this one wrapped up.
She's got her eyes on that next bracket as she wins this round right here and advances into the round of 4. And it's going to get tougher every single bracket. We've got Jill Kinder just hiding back there like a shark in the kelp, waiting until she gets to face an opponent. We'll get things back going for the men here. Once again, those yellow names have the advantage.
That's it. Adrian Lemoine just edged out Kyle Straight in that first one, so that's going to be a tough fought battle round number 2.
Ooh, Martin Soderstrom and Thomas Lemoine. Martin, if you think back, he had that little blunder, that little mistake, and that's all it took here for Thomas Lemoine to turn his name yellow.
And that's it. And then in the last one as well, we've got to shock Michael Bias ahead of Thomas Slavic, the guy trying to gun for points in the King of Crankworks.
That is amazing, and the crowd loving that. Cinderella story right there. It's great to see riders coming from BMX, trying their hand at mountain biking. More the merrier, right?
That's it. We welcome everyone to mountain biking.
Kyle Straight, you're looking at him right now as he prepares, gets his tires in the right spot, positioned up against that narrow gate right there.
We've got Adrian on the RockShox track there, zoning in. You see him so focused, eyes straight ahead.
Kyle Straight only having to make up a .17. I know he can do it.
Anything can happen here, Cam.
Riders ready. Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Kyle having great starts on that. I'd say just edging out Laurent there with a little case by Laurent as well, going down that first straight. Really feeling the pressure here by Kyle.
There's almost too much speed in that straightaway.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, and a little mistake again. Coming out of town by Adrian Laurent.
His nemesis section of the course right there, Adrian Laurent, succumbing to the confusing dangers of the Bermuda Triangle. We're going to have to take a look at that replay to figure out what happened, but Kyle Straight, a little celebration dance down there in the finish line corral. This is big news.
This is big news, Cam. You can see Adrian devastated with that. He did not want his night to end like that. No. Throwing his bike out of the arena.
Laurent wants to maintain his status as the king of Crankworks, and if you look back into the history books, this is the event where he gets a lot of his points, the Pump Track Challenge. He's sitting in 10th place right now, and now he gets eliminated.
That's it. With only 65 points to his name, he needed to do well tonight. Kyle Straight is running so strong and well this year. You see, he just succumbed to the pressure. Straight, managing all the way down there and just taking it out.
Well, Kyle Straight always looking strong, but with a second in the slalom, looking stronger than ever right here. Let's get inside his head. Michaela standing by with Kyle.
Yeah, thanks, Cam. I am here with Kyle Straight. All right, so Adrian Laurent might have the best coach in the world, but Kyle Straight has his own personal bike park in your backyard. Is that what's going on? You're looking so strong. Tell me about Straight Acres.
You know what? It's just kind of a dream that you could have your own jump, slalom track, all that fun stuff in yard. So I've been digging tons out there and really enjoying it and spend a little more time in the hardtail than usual. So I'm having fun out tonight, and let's see how far we can go.
That was amazing. And your wife keeps you fit? She's a okay, that was bad. Enduro racer, Rachel Straight.
Well, I mean that too, but yeah, you know, she makes me chase her up the hill, and then I usually give her some coaching coming down. But yeah, just having fun on the bike tonight.
Well, it looks like a perfect little combination you got there. Looking strong out there. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, whatever he's doing, don't change a thing. We don't need to know all the details, but don't change a thing. Kyle Straight looking stronger than ever.
That's it. You can tell he's having a good time out there and really just enjoying riding his bike, Cam. Like we say, he's got Straight Acres at home, and he's just training all the time and looking good on the slalom and the pump track here.
Well, I can't wait to see him in speed and style tomorrow.
Man, he's a force to be reckoned with this year.
All right, well, speaking of forces that we should be reckoning with, Cheney Gounet, a guy who's been on the podium here in pump track, coming from the BMX background, against Austin Warren, a guy who trains with the guy we were just talking to, Kyle Straight.
Ready, watch the gate.
Both good starts again, but Cheney Gounet just pumping out and down that little case from Bubba Warren again.
Well, Bubba trying to upset a .32 differential. He's going to need to pull something out of his back pocket here.
Oh, Cheney Gounet just cruising. He knows he's got this one locked up, cruising through the line, saving him some energy for later on. It's a long night for him if he's doing well.
Cheney Gounet looking very strong, the French rider. We first saw him in Leger a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's really strong. You know, like we said, third place overall finish last year. That guy is really a force to be reckoned with when it comes to pump track now. Bubba Warren in good spirits, though, having a good time riding his bike.
Well, look back up at the top right there. Martin Soderstrom giving himself the thumbs down. But Martin, head up, buddy. You can do this. Anything can happen. Unless it's banking on Lemoine to make a mistake. That usually doesn't happen. But anything can happen, Martin.
Yeah, when you see Martin starts, he hops out of that start down that first thing. And when he gets the good downside there, he really gets it good. He leans on the gate, pulls back a little bit, and hops both wheels down the first downside. And when he gets that smooth, he really generates some speed going into the track.
That technique has been working so well for him. All right, well, let's break it down.
Here we go. You got your front wheel on the start, and there you see Barry just straight out. Martin even missed his little jump that time.
Oh, look at that hop right there. A two-tire bunny hop just to get into that training.
Like we say. The gate is so quick to go down, you know, and here it's a random gate. They don't really tell you what's going on. They just say, rider's ready, watch the gate, and it can go any time they push the button.
And that's
so you don't
not
know
something you get familiar with if you have a BMX background, is it?
No, exactly. It's super unusual for Crankworx to try and make it fairer for the slopestyle guys, the racers, and everyone.
So here's the last start from Martin.
And you can see he messes up his hop a little bit then. I think he cased it, which may be why he's behind in this heat. He didn't get it quite as perfect as he did earlier on in the night.
It's all about that timing. You don't know when that gate is going to be dropping, so you have to have your reflexes on point. Let's see who gets the start here now in this round. Martin Soderstrom versus Thomas Lemoine. Oh, he
Martin, it. See, he got his jump better that time, and he's right there. He's ahead of Thomas going down the first straight.
He's doing what he needs to do.
I think a little mistake into the first turn there by Martin.
Martin Soderstrom smooth out of the Bermuda Triangle.
But Thomas really just putting the pressure on. Styling it out at the end. Knew Martin had messed up, and he's going to take that one home.
Martin looking so strong. It just goes to show how fast Thomas Lemoine is riding right now. His pace is on point. Are we going to see him on the podium again? He's no stranger to that podium.
I think we might, Cam. He's such a good pump track rider, really strong, and I don't think many things get to his head, you know.
Well, Lemoine advances out of that round. Here's a look back at how he did it, gapping that jump there.
Yeah, that's it. Thomas was on the back foot for a bit there, but just coming out of this turn, Lemoine's so headstrong, keeps focus, pumps all the way around the turn. You see here, he's not looking anywhere. Dead straight, Martin gets squirrely, pulls out, game over.
Now, some riders look like they're trying really hard to generate that speed. It kind of looks effortless when Lemoine's doing it.
That's it. He's got such a good style, such a strong rider, super effortless. But Martin, you see, he's pumping really hard, gets a little bit squirrely now and then.
It's muscle, obviously, too, but efficiency and precision has got to...
Such good technique, Cam.
Got to play a factor here.
Back up to the start here, we've got Thomas Slavic and Michael Bias. And as you see here, Slavic is on the back foot, surprise, surprise, to Michael Bias from New Zealand.
Riders ready.
Okay, riders, random started. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Oh, the wiggle technique by Michael Bias again. We're seeing all sorts.
We might have to do a little race school on that because that seemed to be working there for Michael Bias.
Dead heat here, I'd say.
Oh,
Slavic mistake. Michael Bias through.
By an advantage of 0.22 over Thomas Slavic, which means Michael Bias will advance. Our fresh face right now, knocking out somebody who you put your money on at the top of the show.
Exactly. Thomas Slavic and Adrian Laurent out already.
Well, with pump track, anything can happen, and it probably will, and we're seeing that right now. We've got some fresh faces like Michael Bias, Kilani Heinz. This is a little insight into what's going to happen the rest of the season, but here's what's happening right now in our semifinals.
That's it. We got Kyle Strait against Shani Garneau now, and Thomas Lemoine, Michael Bias. You know, all great riders, but Slavic and Laurent have gone.
Well, that's why it never makes any sense to put your money on anything because it's so unpredictable. But look at this. We got a new guest up here in the booth. We got Caroline Buchanan. Caroline, good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry you're not racing out there today. Is it tough to watch?
It's, you know, I'm actually learning. I'm sitting back. This is one of the most technical tracks that we've ever had, and everyone's coming unstuck. Unfortunately, almost my entire Fantasy Crankworx team's out. So what are you doing, guys? I'm betting on you.
An expert like yourself still losing points in Fantasy Crankworx. Well, who do you have your money on in the women's field right now?
you got to go with the consistent, the queen. She's a queen for a reason. She's one of the most hardest competitors that I've ever gone against. But the underdog, Kilani Heinz, the BMX background, it's a very technical sort of BMX-y rhythm track. So she's kind of the underdog. But Danny Beecroft, she almost knocked me out last year. So she's in the contention too.
Now I want to talk about Kilani Heinz a little bit. She's a new face for our Crankworks viewers. Have you been tracking her progress? Were you familiar with her before she showed up here today?
Yeah, she's sort of making a scene, obviously at Sea Otter and now at the Crankworks event. She's got a good coach in Bubba Warren, so yeah, she's under the right hands.
Right on. Well, she'll be gunning down that lady right there, Jill Kintner. She always has such incredible focus in moments like this.
For me, I think pump tracks are more like about generating speed through the turns and then having like combo situations or manuals or like, you know, like multiple skills. It's hard when you're doing a race because it's like, it's just a different thing than riding it like a pump track. Like I ride them backwards or sideways or transfer across, and that's how I enjoy riding pump track. But when you race, it's like you want to get really good timing and pumps, and it's all about start to finish. You know, you can't make any mistakes in this game.
Well, there we go. We have on two sides of the screen right there, those two different Jills. We had the Jill where she's reflecting on how she strategizes, but no, we're getting a smile out of her in the gate right now. That's rare. Jill, put on that game face. It's time to rock right now, going up against Jonna Johnson. Now, Caroline, this is a rare moment where we get the opportunity to have you up here in the booth instead of in the gate against Jill. What do you make of this?
Well, Jill, she's very consistent, and she has that game face on. She always wants to win.
Well, she knows when to put that game face on. Right before that gate drop, there was no smiles anymore. We're coming up a little short there, though.
Couple of mistakes, very out of character for Jill. She never cracks under pressure, but I think she'll bring it back to the line.
That's it. It's toe and toe here, though. Tighter than Jill would like, for sure.
Well, there we go. Jill still finding some time hitting out there between those rollers. She takes this round by 0.37 over Jonna Johnson, but definitely not a perfect round. She's got a little bit of mistakes to clean up in the next one.
Never over to that finish line. You got to push all the way because you might need it, that advantage for the next round.
Well, let's take a look back at the start. Let's see what strategy she's using. She's using the hop.
Yeah, just the back wheel hop there, but I think she maybe either didn't have quite as much speed as she expected, or something happened because she did case that first jump.
She tried to jump it. Maybe she'll try to manual it next time, or maybe she just wants to get a little bit of a better start. But either way, a learning experience right now. The first round where Jill had to go up against a competitor, so she learned a lot out of that one. We'll see them make their way to the top of the course, but right now it's all about Danielle Beecroft on the left side of your screen, and our young, fresh face, Kilani Heinz.
Riders ready? Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Danielle Beecroft getting the jump on that one for sure, but Kilani Heinz coming back strong down there.
She's going to be fighting for that win after the other night. She told me she put it all on the line with Jill, and tonight she wants to go head-to-head with her in the final.
That's it. These two are neck and neck, though, coming down that straight. Danielle Beecroft not giving up.
Oh, very tight right there. Just 0.1 between Kilani Heinz and Danielle Beecroft. Heinz, the winner of that round, so she'll carry that advantage into the next round where they switch sides. But that's the first time we actually got to see her go up against a competitor. She scored on that bye before.
That's it, Cam. And maybe it didn't give her the edge she needed on the start, because I feel like she was a little bit behind on that, but she pulled it back down this last straight. You see Kilani Heinz super strong and just pumping by Danielle just.
Now, we always talk about buys as being kind of an advantage that you score on, but these other girls who had to make it out of a round to get into this round, they're fresh. They're in the flow of things right now, into the competitive mindset. So we see it's taking a little bit of time right now for Kilani and Jill to get into that game face mode. Well, take a look back our brackets right now at this point. We got a couple yellow names there.
That's it. Jill Kintner won her first one. Obviously a little mistake, but she pulled it back over Jonna Johnson.
Kilani Heinz edging out over Danielle Beecroft. So we got these two yellow names here. Are we going to see the veteran Jill Kintner square up against Kilani Heinz? They both have to make it out of this round for that to happen.
I think we might, but back up to the men. Here we go. We've got Carl Strait in the Torpedo7 lane on your left, and we've got Shania Gano on the RockShox lane on your right.
Well, Kyle Strait, as we said before, looking stronger than ever, but Shania Gano coming from a BMX background, which really, really mimics what this racing format's all about. Can Kyle Strait do it?
strong start by straight again. We've seen that all night from him. Head-to-head going into the first turn.
Well, who's going to enter this final straightaway first?
It's neck and neck still, Cam. Both of them going for it. I think it's Kyle straight.
Edging out Shani Gounet by 0.13, just barely staying on course on that final straightaway. That's what it's all about right there, is exiting that berm into that final straightaway in the middle of the line.
That's it, Cam, and I think we'll see here in the replay hopefully in a second. Kyle is so straight and smooth down that last straight. You see Shani Gounet, he's fast, he's generating speed, but he's a bit squirrely, you know, he's a bit more all over the show, wasting maybe a little bit of energy and a little bit of speed.
Caroline, how important is it to stay in the middle right there where it's packed? We saw Kyle earlier throwing up some roofs. Right now he learned from that, but the middle's got to be the fast spot.
It is. You can definitely lose time there. I think we're talking about the Kiwis having that hometown advantage, but I think it could be having that track in your backyard. Kyle's pulling it through.
Now this is just another day at the office for him. He's practicing on berms, rollers, every waking moment when he's back home at Straight Acres, and it seems to be paying off as we look at him with a yellow name right now in the semifinals.
And then, yeah, next up now we've got Thomas Lemoine against Michael Byers, the local boy. So this is going to be a heater.
Well, Thomas Lemoine has faced racers in the past who don't spend their year doing tricks and learning how to put one extra rotation in it, and he has triumphed over riders like that, but he's going to have to do it again here against Michael Byers, coming from that BMX background. Oh, a little bit of a fumble there for Michael Byers.
Not his usual good wiggle start, a little one, but not as much as he's been doing.
Well, maybe it's just the odd nature of that wiggle start. It seemed to work.
Thomas Lemoine so dead straight down that thing. And edging out Michael Byers, 0.12 over him. You saw Michael Byers come out of that last turn a little bit squirrely. Thomas Lemoine doesn't manual too much. He keeps both tires on the ground and really gets solid pump over every roller.
Unshakable, too.
Yeah,
no matter who he's going up against.
Such a strong head game.
Well, Thomas Lemoine against Michael Byers. Take a look back at our replay.
Here we go, down out of the start, hop over that.
It just blows me away how easy Lemoine makes this look right here, but they were head-to-head in this final straightaway.
If you see here, Lemoine, he's just double tiring the whole thing. Well, Michael Byers is doing a lot of manuals, and Thomas, apart from the last roller, both wheels on the ground, the whole straight. Photo finish, Cam.
Wow. This is reminiscent of years past when Lemoine, even though he has so much on his plate practicing for slopestyle, decides to do pump track. I'm wondering why he decided to do that this year. It's a great decision. Michaela, let's hear from Thomas Lemoine.
All right, yeah, great question, Cam. So Thomas Lemoine, typically, I mean, always, slopestyle rider, seeing a lot of things on Instagram, just flowing through all the skate parks and stuff. How do you train for pump track? Why are you here? What are you doing?
I don't actually train for pump track. I've been racing BMX back in the days for such a long time that I still have some skills, I guess.
Muscle memory?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, that's very impressive because you are looking very strong out there tonight. Do the pink grips have anything to do with it, you think?
Maybe. We'll see.
I think so.
Sometimes style is speed, and Lemoine looking good right now with the fresh pink bike right there, but I gotta think in the back of his mind, he knows that maybe he wants to make a run for that King of Crankworks title.
You never know. He's doing a few events out here. He could definitely get some points for that with pump track. Maybe he's doing speed and style, and then he's got the big slope style event. So he could definitely get some good points in that. But could be the pink grips, could be having fun, could be trying for the King of Crankworks. You know what they say though, Cam? Look good, feel good, ride good.
I love it. It's true for any part of sport. Caroline, is that the way you roll?
Cosmetic horsepower.
There we go.
That's great. Cosmetic horsepower. Look good, feel good, ride good. Well, the course is looking good, and we feel good about it. The weather's nice. We did not get rained out here today. We were a little bit worried about that, but we're having a smooth competition so far to kick off the Crankworks World Tour 2018. Caroline, sights set on Innsbruck or just hoping for the best?
I'm going to work on just building back at the moment. I'm only on 3 kilo dumbbells right now, so once I can get back to maybe joining Barry Noble's 100 push-up challenges a day, if I can get to that, I'll be ready to get back on the bike.
That's the way to do it. Well, for everybody out there, if you're loving this pump track race, you got to stick around because we got more action for you tomorrow in the form of dual speed and style. Check this out.
style. 16 athletes racing side by side. Slopestylers searching for speed. Racers looking to out-trick their rivals. Head-to-head in Rotorua, New Zealand. Win and you advance. Lose and, well, you're done. Returning Crankworx dual speed and style champ Jakob Venkel is back. But so are perennial contenders like Kyle Strait, two-time dual speed and style winner Darryl Brown, and reigning king of Crankworx Adrian Laurent. Tune in on crankworx.com for the Mons Royale dual speed and style, live from Crankworx Rotorua.
Well, don't miss that. You're smart enough to tune in for Pump Track right now, so just carry that momentum. You're watching these riders carry their momentum. Log in again tomorrow for dual speed and style. You've competed in a handful of those, haven't you?
That's it, Cal. I've done a few events, Pump Track, speed and style, and they're all good, but they're so different, you know, out here. Every event has its own little thing or things you have to change. You have bike setup, you have, do I go fast, do I do tricks in the speed and style? There's so many different things to look out for out here.
Well, if you're not able to be here in person, you're at least watching the webcast, but there's more. Once the webcast ends, you still got to track all the schedules, up-to-date results. Go to the Crankworx World Tour Facebook page for all the behind-the-scenes look. Comment on all the posts, let your voice be heard, and make sure you take a look at all those schedules so you don't miss any of these coveted broadcasts where we're giving away those valuable points for King and Queen of Crankworx. And not to mention, we're making history every time we have a Crankworx event, whether it be slopestyle, downhill, enduro. We have slalom at all the stops right now. Don't miss a thing. Go to the Crankworx World Tour page on Facebook. Well, the ladies semifinal run 2 coming up right after this. Well, there we go. The anticipation's building right here. We've been whittling it down. And now, what were some of the big surprises for you, Bernard? You had some predictions coming into this.
Man, there's been some real big upsets. Adrian Laurent went out early. You saw him throw his bike. He was not happy. He's been riding good, and he's the defending king of Crankworx. He came in here thinking strong, you know? And then as well as him, Thomas Slavic, good friend of mine, and so mentally headstrong, I did not see him getting knocked out early. Especially, it's such a good track. It's high speed. It's what he's used to. I'm honestly in shock about it.
Yeah, that was surprising. Well, we're going to have to wait to see Thomas Slavic until tomorrow's dual speed and style, where he'll definitely be looking to make up ground in that King of Crankworx race. He's been doing backflips, which is new for this season for him, so that's exciting tomorrow night.
It's a steer and a half.
Well, we got the eye of the tiger right now from Jonna Johnson. That close-up view, you can feel the focus. She's got a .37 she needs to make up over none other than Jill Kintner. So no easy task right here, but she's got the focus to do it. They're off. Let's see if Jill can get
good
this
start
first
by
jump
Jill
here.
this time. She gets the jump much better in the second heat here, but Johanna Johnson not backing down from her. Jill, though, really killing the Bermuda Triangle section there and just pulling away.
Jill looking casual now. It was really tight in the middle of the race, but Jill puts a 1 second on Jonna Johnson. Of course, that means after she had the advantage going into that round, she advances into the next round. Let's take a look back at the start here. She had a way better time over that first jump, didn't she?
Yeah, you see here, she keeps her front high and clears it much better, doesn't clip the front wheel. And then manuals down the straight, into the first turn nicely. And this is where she really starts picking up her speed. Through the turns here, into that final turn, she exits with such good speed here, Jill, and she just pulls away on Johanna Johnson.
Well, it's almost misleading. She makes it look so effortless, but when she crosses the finish line over a second ahead of her competition, you know she's got it figured out. For more on Jill, let's send it down to Michaela.
All right, yeah, I'm here with Jill right now. So you've had 3 podiums this week so far with 2 wins. What do you feel from that? The pressure or the oh my gosh. Reigning Queen of Crankworks as well. Do you feel the pressure or do you feel the confidence from a successful run like that?
I guess you could say a bit of both. Like, every year is a new year from scratch, so like, regardless of what I did last year, I'm here to try and put my best forward and, you know, play it how it is. You know, it's like very technical track and it's not super easy, and, you know, back to back to back to back days. You know, pump tracking's pretty taxing, so yeah, I'm just trying to be smooth and get good pumps.
Sweet, well, you're looking good out there and you're holding it up as the queen. You're doing good. You're doing great.
Also, anyone seen Bryn? Where the hell is he?
Where's Jill's husband? She's looking for him. Bryn? Thanks, Jill.
We have a lost child. His name's Bryn Atkinson. Your wife is looking for you, Bryn. She's doing great in the pump track race. You might want to come over and cheer her on. She might need a bottle of water to fuel her path right now on the quest for points. Look at that. Queen of Crankworks, current standings, Jill Kintner, the 10-point lead over Via Verbeek. 375 points.
But like
Jill's
we
already
said,
pulled that off, and that's before tonight's pump track.
That's it, and Via Verbeek's not racing tonight, you know, and there's 150 points up for grab for Jill to try and really extend that lead tonight.
Well, Jill, she's laughing too. She looks casual, hoping she can clean up some of those points, but it's time for racing.
Here we go, we got Kilani Heinz and Daniel Beecroft back up at the start.
Kilani Heinz was the winner from run number 1 by an advantage of 0.10. She has to hold off Danielle Beecroft. No easy task.
No, here we go. Good hop in by Daniel Beecroft there, really getting some good pump, but Kilani Heinz, no slouch at this game. Jumping through there, straight into the first turn.
Danielle Beecroft, one of your picks at the start of the show.
Yeah, another great rider, but Kilani Heinz coming down here super strong. Both wheels on the ground, taking it all the way to the line.
Kilani Heinz, the winner. 0.23 over Danielle Beecroft. She advances. You know what that means? We're going to see Jill Kintner and Kilani Heinz. We've been speculating if we were going to see that. It's happening.
That's it, Cam. We said we might see it. She's a solid pick. She's been riding great in the slalom, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see her push Jill to the line tonight.
Well, it's great to see the fresh faces going against the established veterans. We're going to see that in the women's final right now. Jill Kintner versus Kilani Heinz. The small final is going to be Cody Johnson going up against Danielle Beecroft for that bronze medal.
Another great battle, to be fair, Cam. Cody Johnson and Danielle Beecroft have not been far off in their races at all tonight. Both great riders and really upping it tonight.
Well, small finals and finals, we're getting closer and closer to it. It's the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. Don't go anywhere.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new Sram GX Eagle Drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
I think the Crankworks event here in Rotorua, its sort of vibe, its energy, the culture that gets brought into it, it's pretty unique, I guess.
Nelson's a really cool place. It's on the ocean, so you have surfing right there and then riding and mountains, and definitely one of those places you want to travel around.
So many new places, it's pretty unreal.
You gotta come to New Zealand to try it. It's wicked, it's super fun.
We live and breathe outdoor sports, so we know the time you spend pursuing them is precious. We're here to help you squeeze everything you can out of that time by equipping you with the best gear possible at any budget and the knowledge to get the most out of it, wherever you are and wherever you're at. So when those elements are calling your name, you'll be there, and so will we. Torpedo7, see you out there.
SRAM, the power of bicycles. Well, there we go, Bernards. The RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. We're into the semifinals, run number 2 for the men. On your screen right now, we're looking at Cheney Gounet on the left, Kyle Straight on the right. Kyle with an advantage of 0.13 going into this lap.
That's it, riding so strong. As we said, he's got straight acres at home now, so he is fired up for this.
0.13, comfortable, but never get too comfortable because every little section counts. Can Kyle Straight hold off Cheney Gounet? They're off.
Both great start skin, good hop by Cheney Gounet, but Kyle down that first roller, first skin. You see him, he's so straight and centered, Kyle Straight.
The power of Kyle Straight right now, making it out of the Bermuda Triangle successfully. Bar to bar with Cheney Gounet, a little bit of style for Kyle Straight. Oh, by
no,
0.01 of a second, Cheney Gounet will advance. Oh, gutted for Kyle Straight right now. But Cheney Gounet all the way from France, not making any mistakes right there. Realistically, Kyle made no mistakes either. That's just how close this racing was.
That's it. That is a photo finish to a T. I don't know if Kyle thought he had it, but they were neck and neck down the final straight, and Cheney Gounet just edged him out right by the finish line.
There's no way an eyeball could ever tell the difference between 0.13 and 0.14 right there. I feel like Kyle felt like he had it. He was so...
I think so. You see, he whips that little jump there, and maybe if he just kept his bike straight then, he would have had the time.
Oh, man. Well, hindsight is 20/20. Who knows where he could have found 0.01. That's 100th of a second. We're going to get a slow-mo replay.
You see that over the line at the same time, Cam. That is absolutely nothing.
Well, tell me, hopefully he doesn't manual over the beam right there. He had a high manual. We're watching that slow-mo. Let's hear what Cheney has to say. Oh, he's speaking French, so I can't understand what he's saying.
I'm not fluent in French either, unfortunately, Cam.
I think he's saying, I can't believe I made that right there.
Super, super tight.
Well, there we go. They're back up at the top of the course. It's Michael Bias and Thomas Lemoine. Lemoine has a 0.12 over Michael Bias, and let's see how he got into this position. It was just moments ago. Michael Bias versus Thomas Lemoine. Check it out. Well, that's Jill right there. But if you remember, we're talking about Thomas Lemoine. You know what, Lemoine looks a lot like Jill Kinder right there.
That's it, both really centered riders.
See, I know what happened. It's that pink bike right there. They got it mixed up. They said that must have been the girl class.
Yeah, exactly. Who knew that was? Thomas Lemoine's smiling there. He doesn't mind.
Well, sometimes Lemoine wears pants that you would more likely see in the women's class.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure what shop he gets those things from.
Look at Lemoine throwing the horns right now. He's the winner from run number 1 against Michael Bias by only 0.12. And judging by what we just saw with Cheney Gounet and Kyle Straight, every 100th of a second matters.
Both at the start strong as always. Thomas Lemoine keeping it super low down that roller. Manualing a lot that time down the first straight. Up through the twisty section. Oh, Michael Bias! The left side Bermuda Triangle. It's that same section on the opposite track.
Man, the second time Lemoine was able to bar spin across the finish line, I was in awe by the perfection of Thomas Lemoine in that run right there. And I feel like Michael Bias could see him in his peripheral vision, knew that he had to pull out all the stops.
That's it. Michael Bias really trying hard then. Let's go back and have a look at that.
Michael Bias was absolutely living on a thread right there, doing all he needed to do. There's that wiggle start.
There's the wiggle start. You see that Lemoine pumps that downside so well, manuals all these rollers on the first straight this time. Michael Bias knows he's there.
There's that crash.
Just missed times. It's the turn with the roller at the end of it. It's a really technical feature.
Well, big hats off to our course designers out there, because you're seeing a lot of riders with absolutely perfect runs, but a challenging course. Just going to show this is what separates the best in the world from the other best in the world.
That's it. When pressure gets them and racing is so tight like this, any little mistake can cost you.
Well, in pump track, you usually have a lot of uneventful runs, but this track is, I mean, this is borderline, you know, a different event here. We've got a little bit of a downhill. I'm loving it.
That's it. Harder the track, the better the race, in my opinion, Cam.
I like that. We need something to differentiate those riders out there. Unfortunate crash, but Lemoine moving into that final.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, back to the ladies right now. We're going to be looking at the bronze medal match. Jonna Johnson versus Danielle Beecroft. we're going to be handing out some hardware at the end of this lap.
That's it. They're fighting for a medal here, Cam. They both really want this. Even though it's a small final, it matters just as much to them right now. We've got Cody Johnson on the left in the Torpedo7 lane and Daniel Beecroft on the right in the RockShox lane.
Riders ready. Okay, riders, random started. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Cody Johnson and Daniel Beecroft are off for the bronze medal round. Who's it going to be here?
It's a hard goal. Danny with a good start, but Cody Johnson pulling out into that first turn. Both up into the final turn, and it's neck and neck going down the last straight. I couldn't tell you who has it right now.
Oh, that's going to be the tightest one. Look at that, 0.07, just 200ths off of the tightest lap we've seen so far.
Awesome race right there, Cam. Both of them working all the way to the line for every little bit of time they could try and make up.
Well, when it's 0.07, it's not much of an advantage. This is going to be a fight to the finish right now. Somebody's going to have to earn this bronze medal. Nobody's going to be walking away with it easy.
That's it, different techniques, but both riders there handling it under all the pressure, you know, both riding really well, no mistakes from them, just focused all the way to the line.
That's what I like to see out here. You see some laps that are such massive differentials because of mistake, because the course has so many little elements to it and you can't have any room for error. And then you see these ones that are so tight. So we've got the full gamut spread.
That's it, we got
dramatic
everything.
Finishes here.
Yeah, that one literally, like you say, photo finish. Great race.
Well, there was a 0.07 in the hands of Cody Johnson. Daniel Beecroft having to make up that differential when they head back up to the top for their second lap of the bronze medal round. But what does that mean now? Are we looking at some more bronze medal rounds back here for another gender?
Yeah, we got Kyle Straight against Michael Bias. Both been riding really, really well all night. Kyle not really made any mistakes tonight. He had that one really tiny one early on, but Michael Bias having that big one in his last race we saw. So he's got to regroup, get his head back in the game, and try and concentrate. He's got a third place medal up for grabs still.
Well, Kyle Straight is going to be really charged up after barely not making it into the final by 100th of a second. That's less than a blink of an eye. I dare you to blink your eye in less than 100th of a second.
You couldn't, but yeah, like we say, Straight's been riding great all night. He's come from his awesome training ground, and he's so strong out there. He's going to want this third place medal now. He's missed out on the main final.
Well, Kyle Straight definitely earning some points in the slalom. He had a second place earlier in the week. Right now, he has a chance to win a bronze medal and more valuable points on his quest for the King of Crankworks, competing in a lot of events out here. He'll be back out here tomorrow for dual speed and style. But right now, he's got his sights set on that bronze medal, but so does Michael Bias out of New Zealand.
Going to be an awesome race, both great starters.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hard to call. There you go, Michael Bias manning down straight, jumping, but both getting a little squirrely there on that straight.
Same time.
Yeah, interesting. Michael Bias with the advantage coming out of that last turn, though, powering down the final straight. The local crowd going wild for him.
You just don't know who it's going to be until they enter that final straightaway right there. It was anybody's game until they exited those last berms. A 0.39 in the hands of Michael Bias. Kyle Straight having some work to do in his next round.
That's it. That's a solid win victory for Michael Bias there in front of this home crowd.
Well, that would be quite the upset right now. The new face, Michael Bias, against the veteran. The name you all know, Kyle Straight, has been around for so long. Now, Kyle Straight's going to have his work cut out for him, a 0.39. Now, Kyle's got that really high manual.
Really high.
So I'm hoping he's not going over the line.
No, I think he's got it, but who knows? Michael Bias happy with that one, you can see. Can't wait for run number 2, and he wants to get this third place medal wrapped up.
Well, look at your screen right now. That's the fierce face of Jill Kintner. And we've been shaping up this battle all night, thinking maybe there was a chance it was going to happen. Kilani Heinz, also out of the USA from Seattle. Now this is interesting. Jill originally from that area too. So we've got a big plot developing in front of us here as Jill Kintner faces off against Kilani Heinz in our final for the women's pump track.
Jill with a great start jumping down it there. Kilani's got some ground to make up, but she is strong. Coming back at Jill down this first straight, jumping into turn number 1. going up into the tricky turn section. Kilani Heinz riding strong on the right of your screen here, really making Jill work for it. I think she's ahead, actually.
Did Jill Kinder just try to pedal right there?
I saw that. She's trying to spin the chain.
But she's
that doesn't
such
exist.
a racer. She's thinking, I got to do whatever I can. A .06 is all that separates Kilani Heinz from Jill Kinder. Kilani with the advantage out of run number 1. I got to take a look back at that. That was action-packed. That final straightaway, I want to see if Jill was trying to take a pedal there.
I think she was, Cam. You see, Jill got such a good start, so Kilani had to make it back up. But she jumps into that turn there and really carries some serious speed back up the hill through these turns. And you can see she comes out of this turn ahead of Jill, and that has spooked Jill. And watch this here. Jill tries to pedal, you see? She's got no chain on, but just such a racer at heart. You know, Jill, super competitive, and just tries to make up all the time she can.
Oh, I love that. That's just racing is in your blood when you're pedaling, even though you don't have a chain on. Well, Michaela Gatto standing by with Kilani Heinz.
I'm here with Kilani Heinz. First off, welcome to Crankworks. Giving Jill Kittner straight into it, the pressure, we could have seen that in that last run. Tell us a little bit about your background.
I've raced BMX my whole life, and Jill and I are actually from like the same hometown, so I've looked up to her my whole life and have watched her race. And the last couple years I've gotten into mountain biking, so I'm just trying to stick with it and make something of it.
Are you going to be gunning for the #1 spot today, obviously, and for the rest of the season, Queen of Crankworks?
Well, tonight I definitely feel confident about it. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the other ones besides Whistler, but we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the week goes.
Well, we're all very excited to see how you shape up in the rest of the races this week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michaela. Man, what a cool story. She's been looking up to Jill her whole entire life. This has to be a full-on momentous moment for her to be racing against Jill right now, putting a bit of an advantage on her, but Jill's going to be gunning for that spot once they switch sides. Here's a look at what we got on our hands for the men.
Here we go. We got Shani Gunnay against Thomas Lemoine for the gold medal. The two Frenchies going at it over here in New Zealand today. Who would have thought?
Well, it's not rare to see two Frenchies in the final for pump track in the men's class, but we got one that I don't know if we've seen before here, Thomas Lemoine and Shani Gunnay. Lemoine not always signing up for these because he puts so much emphasis on slope style, but lucky for us, this show is shaped up because Lemoine decided to make that decision.
Here we go, Cam. Dead even out the start coming down this first feature. Lemoine keeping it very low and edging him out into that first turn there.
Look at Lemoine go. It's going to come down to who makes a mistake here. There.
Lemoine flying out of that turn down the last straight, across the line first, with a .4 over Shani Gunnay. That is quite the advantage for Heat 1 in the final.
Absolutely. Lemoine giving himself a nice little buffer going into that next lap right here, a .4 ahead of Shani Gunnay. Now this guy, Lemoine, he's been practicing slopestyle all day. Now he's out here staying up late, had to figure out time to practice for pump track as well. Look how on point he is.
That's how you see it. It's those two manuals down that first straight, and he really generates some speed. Double wheel all the way up that straight, doesn't lift the wheel, and just comes out that final turn with so much speed. You see there, double as well, just manuals the last roller, and there it is.
Well, the stage is set. We're going to be giving away hardware. We're going to have the conclusion, our bronze medal matchup, and then those two men you're looking at right now, Shani Gunnay and Thomas Lemoine. Can Shani Gunnay upset that .4? We're going to be handing out the hardware right after this. It's the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. Stick around for the finals. You're not going to want to miss this.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new Sram GX Eagle Drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle. The new Pike is lighter with an all-new trail-focused chassis. Gives you more control with its new Charger 2 damper and new remote options for ultimate efficiency. Feels more supple with its new Debonair spring. Is stiffer for better steering authority and offers increased tire compatibility. This is the new Pike, an even better benchmark.
Skyline Rotorua, once is never enough. And here we go, Bernard. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment where we hand out some hardware. Our bronze medal match for the ladies. We've got Danielle Beecroft on the left side of your screen against Jonna Johnson. The advantage in the hands of Jonna Johnson right now, but it's a small one. It's only 0.07.
That's it, Cam. It's literally nothing. It's pretty much whoever wins this race is getting that third place medal. So here we go. Danielle on the left, Jonna Johnson on the right.
Hardware on the line, valuable points for the Queen title, the pump track overall title on the line right now. Who is it going to be?
Great hop by Danielle there at the start, but Jonna Johnson just edging ahead there with the little manual going into turn 1.
Well, they're tied again. It was only 0.07 in run number 1.
Oh, but head to head down this final straight. I think Jonna Johnson just has the advantage. Yeah. 0.23, she takes it over Danielle, and she is going to claim that bronze medal.
Jonna Johnson overtaking Danielle Beecroft right there for the hardware, walking away with that bronze medal. Let's hear it for her.
She looks excited, that's for sure. Well-deserved medal.
Any medal out here is well-deserved. These Crankworks medals are hard to come by. Best in the world, gunning for those.
Both riders going so well up here. A little mistake by Danielle Beecroft there, missing a bit of the pump, and that just allowed Jonna Johnson just to edge ahead coming into this final straight and just out-pump her all the way to the line.
Well, there we have it. Danielle Beecroft taking home those 4th place points for the overall, so it's not all a loss, but Jonna Johnson walking away with a nice souvenir from Crankworks Rotorua 2018. All right, we're in the mood for giving away bronze medals right now, aren't we? We're going to give one away for the men. Here they are. Michael Bias from New Zealand on the left side of your screen against Kyle Strait out of the USA. Kyle Strait has to make up a 0.39. He's been all focused. He's at the shape of his life. Can he do it?
It's anyone's race again. He's got some time to make up. If anyone can do it, Kyle Strait can.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Good start by both of them. There we go. Straight jumping down Michael Bias, manualing. Head to head into the first turn. Straight pushing hard here. And Straight coming out into the final straight first. Pushing super hard to the line.
Oh, by 0.08, Kyle Strait ahead of Michael Bias. Not enough. He needed more than 0.39. The bronze medal goes to Michael Bias.
The local crowd really going wild. You can hear them out there. Congratulations.
All right, that's great to see when a Kiwi takes home a medal. It's also great to see when we have a fresh face out here making the transition from BMX. He said, look at that mountain bike stuff. That looks like fun. You guys are having a blast. I want a piece of that action.
Yeah, and he's definitely not bad at the action, that's for sure. Here we go, seeing him. Great start by him. And you see he's just such a good manual, manning all the way through these rollers here.
Well, this was not a case of anybody making a mistake right here. Both riders on point. It would be interesting to know that was what looked like the fastest run Kyle Strait had done all day, so definitely going all for it when the pressure's on.
I'd say so. I think Kyle was better at the turns if you looked at it, and Michael Bias just gets those pumps on the straight just to come back enough to pass him.
Straight's good at the turns. It's a little bit of irony for you right there. But we have some medals given out at this point in the game, but we have more medals to give out still to come. Jill Kindner is going to be going up against Kilani Heinz in the final.
And you can see how we've got here through the night. Jill's had a bye, eliminated someone else, and now she's here in the final.
Well, let's take a look back at run number 1, how we got here. Kilani, emotional after her great performance in run number 1 of the gold medal matchup.
Jill took her out the start, you saw her, she's so focused, just comes back strong and Jill at the end.
Well, this is just a great story here. Kilani Heinz growing up, looking up to an Olympian here, Jill Kindner, and now to be racing against her all the way on the other side of the world, it's gotta feel great. Jill doing everything she can, and some things that actually aren't gonna do anything. No chains on these pump track bikes, but Jill, a racer at heart, trying to pedal there in the final straightaway.
That's it. Here we go, Cam. Kilani Heinz on the left, Jill Kintner on the right.
Your gold medal matchup right now. Kilani Heinz ahead of Jill Kintner by 0.06, a very small margin. All the pressure on.
Jill jumping down, Kilani manualing. Here they go into turn one. Kilani jumps in like she's been doing all night so well.
Oh, they're close.
I'd say Jill's just got the advantage here. Kilani trying to come back strong.
Jill needs 0.06 or more. Jill wins it by 0.44. Jill Kintner will be your gold medalist out here. 2018 Pump Track Challenge. Congrats to Jill Kintner. Well, Michaela's standing by with our winner, Jill Kintner.
Oh man, thanks Cam. I'm here with Jill. You just came away with the gold medal, feeling a little bit of that pressure from that first run. What was going through your head in the start gate on the second?
I think honestly I kind of needed that. Like, I was pretty excited. I love being here in the final, and you know, it's Kilani's first time, which is awesome. She's from my hometown. So I don't know, just nothing to lose really.
Good under pressure.
Yeah, been here a few times.
Yeah, and it shows. Amazing performance tonight. Congratulations, gold medalist, Jill Kintner, no stranger to that position.
Yeah, thank you, Michaela. Wow, she's done so much in her career from BMX to mountain biking, and this season is a momentous one for pump track racing. We've actually created this world championship right now.
That's it, Cam. We've got the Queen of Crankworks that she's trying to collect points for. But as well as that, there's a Pump Track World Championship Series inside of that. So as Jill is trying to collect every win for another World Championship inside of her Queen of Crankworks charge.
Well, Crankworks leading the charge here in the world of competitive pump track racing. It's great to see that sport evolving in this way, and Jill Kintner at the cutting edge of that. Well, talking about Queen standings, let's take a look at them, Bernard.
Yeah, you see it here now. Jill has really upped her margin over Via Verbeek now, up to 525 over 365. So Jill has got to be super happy with that. After only coming in with a 10-point buffer, she's way out in front now, Cam.
And with Caroline Buchanan not in the race this year, she was a heavy contender last year for Jill, but Jill doing exactly what she needs to do to defend that title, isn't she?
Yeah, sure is, Cam. Right, back up to the top. Here we go. We've got the gold medal men's. Thomas Lemoine on the left.
All right, Rotorua, you guys like gold medals? I know these two competitors do, and they want to add another one to their collection right now. Let's take a look back at run number one between Thomas Lemoine and Cheney Gounet.
Here we go. Thomas Lemoine just so strong and focused, as you can see, dead straight down that first straight. Out of the turn, into the final straight, doesn't blink an eye, double wheels all the way down there, straight through the line. 0.4 over Cheney Gounet in the first race.
Unshakable. That's a good margin to be looking at, but never let your guard down in pump track racing. Each lap is around 15 seconds, so no room for error right there. Look at the focus on the face of Thomas Lemoine.
Here we go. Thomas Lemoine in the Torpedo7 lane, Cheney Gounet in the RockShox.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Great start by Thomas Lemoine with his pink grips there.
Jeez, look at him. That was
already
an
ahead
incredible
going
start.
into turn one. Coming out, look at this. Thomas Lemoine flawless into the final straight. Pumping all the way down, and he takes it, Cam. Incredible race by 0.4 again.
Thomas Lemoine so consistent, even from run to run, with the same advantage on each side. A 0.4 on the red, a 0.4 on the blue. Crossing that finish line with style. Only one hand on those pink grips, celebrating the gold medal.
Like you said, Cam, unshakable. Look at him there, so focused, straight out of the gate, small advantage.
This is ridiculous. Now, we're not looking at any slack run from Cheney Gounet either. He was on point. He hit all of his marks.
Incredible rider. No mistake, even through the tricky section. But Thomas Lemoine, you see this, so straight, so perfect. The same line every run. He knows what he's doing out there.
He looked up in the middle of the final straightaway. He knew he had it. Just in awe of the bike skill and talent from all these riders, but especially our gold medalist in the men's field, Thomas Lemoine. Michaela's with him right now.
Okay, I'm here with gold medal winner Thomas Lemoine. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. I woke up at 6 this morning, so I was like, I have to do as good as I can, so I'm stoked for the win.
Excited all day, and we're going to see you again on Saturday at the slope style. Maybe a win there too?
Nah, not sure, but I'm going to do my best for sure.
Well, if your best is number one, I would say you got a pretty good chance. Any further, pump track world champion maybe in your future?
I have to focus a lot on slopestyle, so as long as I can, like this, do some more events, I will do it, because I love speed and style and pump track a lot. So I'll try for sure.
All right, well, we hope to see you on the pump track again in Europe. Thank you so much. Gold medal winner, Thomas Lemoine.
Well, huge congratulations to Thomas Lemoine. I was talking to him a month ago, telling him, you got to compete in all these other events. You have what it takes to be the king. But slopestyle takes so much of that focus. And that's where he puts all of his emphasis. But when he shows up for pump track, does he have what it takes or what?
Well, he does, Cam, but as we see here with all the brackets, he's got a lot of racing to get through tonight. He had slopestyle practice all day today. He's got to turn up here tonight. And look at all the rounds he had to go through. He had to take Cody Johnson out. Then he had Martin Soderstrom, Michael Bias, and then there he goes, all the way to the final to take the gold.
Well, it's no easy task to win a pump track event, especially when you're training for another event, but you have to do multiple events if you want to even have a chance at the overall King of Crankworks title. Here's what the standings are looking like right now.
That's it, you see, Thomas Lemoine is shot right in with his win tonight, 150 points into a tied 6th place. So if he has a good slopestyle event on Saturday, he's going to be right up there in this King of Crankworks standings.
And now we really have to put on the peer pressure, trying to get him to sign up for the speed and styles at the next 3 stops, because there he is, like you said, sitting in that 6th place position right now. He's got what it takes. He just needs to sign up for all the events and then figure out how to spend all the hours in the day training for all of them.
That's it. It's the hours in the day. Sometimes it just isn't enough, but he's definitely got the talent there to be a top contender in the King of Crankworks.
Well, what a great pump track race for us out here. A great way to kick off our broadcast schedule for Crankworks Rotorua 2018. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Tune in tomorrow for this.
Speed and style. 16 athletes racing side by side. Slopestylers searching for speed. Racers looking to out-trick their rivals. Head-to-head in Rotorua, New Zealand. Win and you advance. Lose and, well, you're done. Returning Crankworks dual speed and style champ Jakob Venkel is back. But so are perennial contenders like Kyle Strait, 2-time dual speed and style winner Darryl Brown, and reigning king of Crankworks Adrian Laurent. Tune in on crankworks.com for the Mons Royale dual speed and style, live from Crankworks Rotorua.
Thumbs up.
Wow, the RockShox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7 was a doozy, to say the least. Thomas Lemoine walking away with that gold. Jill Kinder with the gold. But it's just getting things going for us. We have so much more action coming your way. The dual speed and style tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, world.
Oh!